Reading an assignment from this privileged space of student, academic, higher educator, mother, has been like a serious gut grind. The grind of the decline in the sociological imagination, as Mill says, disconnect between history and larger public concerns, between schooling and educating to transform, the grind of pressing ecological crisis, skyrocketing levels of unemployment, home foreclosures, wage stagnation, persistent racism, homelessness, poverty, unprecedented war debt. The grind of losing our political will to act, even in the face of the crushing privatization of social struggle, and blatant disregard for lives that don't agree with false claims about making America great again. My gut has been responding like a brass-plated five-knuckle punch to the inside of that knowing place that's flesh-tender and dangerously raw, the brutal cutting down of breath with zip-tie resolve in the face of what I already know to be true. My mind has become numb to the numbers. 30 million unemployed, 40 million in poverty, 46 million without health care. Turn more pages, more numbers to numb, of children in crisis, 26% of the population but 36% of the poor. US 29th in infant mortality, home to 800,000 homeless children. More pages of numbers for more numbing, poverty or prison for our youth, school to prison pipeline, what Angela Davis calls the imprisonment bid of the last 30 years. 13 states spending more than $1 billion on corrections. 5 states spending more on corrections than higher education. 2007 Children's Defense Fund, whose numbers are like an unrelenting acid assault, telling me a black boy born in 2001 has a 1 in 3 chance of going to prison in his lifetime, while a Latino boy born the same year has a 1 in 6 chance. Are you hearing this? Minority youth making up 39% of the juvenile population, but 60% of committed juveniles. Youth in adult prisons 5 times as likely to be raped, twice as likely to be beaten, 8 times as likely to commit suicide than adults. Wait! Can y'all breathe when you hear this? Because I can't. And we all know Eric Garner couldn't. But this shit needs to be heard, because there's more pages still. Government funds used to bail out Wall Street bankers, a middle finger to those living at the soul-crushing margins of society. Life without protections for those considered to be expendable, redundant, and invisible by virtue of their race, class, and age. And all of a sudden, I can't sit still. I have to put the book away so that I can find a way to cut the ties on my breath, to reject this numbness, because I am not invisible. My son is not disposable. My students are not expendable. And if you think that you can ignore the legions of us try to see through us around us, it's because your lens is slack with disuse, cracked and distorted, molded to the shape of one kind of face. I will not look away or fall asleep. I will grind on for as long as I have to arm myself for action at a time when we all must be ready as we fight this good fight. This shit is for real, y'all. Our schools are force-feeding our own children back to us in the shape of Wonder Twin powers activate ICE criminals who must be locked up or thrown away for life, unruly beasts who must be punished at all costs. It's life or death for our young folk, y'all. It's life or death for all of us. So I am asking, what are you going to do to help make the political pedagogical so that education is not used as a platform for commodification and corporate interests designed for the few? but as a radical space for teaching democracy, a loving and wildly transformative place of learning that will shake our complacency by the roots, like I am right now, off kilter and unsure at the time of this reading, teetering at the edge of that constructive and scary place between the doing and the not. And not just cannot be an option, y'all. 'Cause this shit is for real. It's for real.